Hello Business Channel Turkish television audience. Welcome to Family Companies with Dr. EBRU KARPUZOİLLÜ's TV show. Today, our TV show's topic is nepotism. We are talking about some subjects, such as what do you mean when you talk about nepotism in the family companies? When is nepotism a good thing? When is nepotism seen as negative? How can this be managed? Today, my guest is dear Anita Brightley Hodges. I'm honored that my dear friend Anita is a guest in our program. I thank her very much. Anita is the owner of a family company's consultancy firm from in the United Kingdom. First of all, I'm going to give you some information about the nepotism. Then, I'm going to ask Anita Brightley Hodges to answer these questions. Nepotism is a form of management, such as monarchy or dynasty. And this management system, as in every system, has its benefits and drawbacks. Although there are nepotistic tendencies in every culture, the rules, traditions, symbols, and practices that determine this area of behavior differ from. In this context, differences can be seen between American nepotism and Italian nepotism and Turkish nepotism. However, it is possible to define nepotism in general. The employment, promotion, compensation, authorization of a person based solely on the basis of blood ties and or kinship relationships, regardless of skills, capability, performance, willingness, competence, experience, and trainings, compliance with job requirements, etc., is called nepotism. Briefly, nepotism is the movement of emotions, ego, etc., regardless of the current and future circumstances of the company and the family. The family's wishes, needs, and priorities are prevented of the company's wishes, needs, and priorities. Many family companies bring a member of the family, regardless of talent, skills, and experience, to top management or key positions, ignore their weaknesses, and do not use the personal recruitment and performance appraisal system. Sometimes, even when there is no current position in the company, it is also able to create individual specific positions for the employment of family members. Issues that are not within scope of authority may be included within scope of authority. This means that family members who are skilled in other subjects are enabled to use these abilities, are enabled to benefit in the field they are capable of, do not respect non-family employees, and work with poor performance. This means that family members who are skilled in other subjects are enabled to use these abilities, are enabled to benefit in the field they are capable of, do not respect non-family employees, and work with poor performance and the effectiveness. Performance and reputation of the family company is affected negatively. The origins of nepotism at the micro level, you should look for reasons that are compatible with the macro level, but can be explained on the individual level, and social and economic reasons at the macro level. It is necessary to define phenomenon of nepotism at macro, meso, familial, organizational, and micro levels, as well as to bring dynamic and institutional suggestions. The main problem in analyzing family companies is the difficulty and sometimes meaninglessness of separating these three different levels. Social, economic, and cultural reasons are institutionalized and stereotyped within the society. Naturally, corporate solutions outside of family companies, it may be able to exist the environmental conditions in which they live and sanctions external controls and rules that will enable adaptation to the new conditions. As economic development and market economy settle, nepotism can be expected to cease to be a major problem. To find legal and financial instruments, such as sanctions-based investment and tax incentives, to encourage family companies to grow, merge, and engage in joint ventures between them, may create efficient results, such as directing the company, diversifying resources, enabling them to plan strategically, enriching their human and financial capital. In this way, instead of nepotism, a cultural and economic transformation that emphasizes institutionalization can take place. Individual causes can be based mainly on universal foundations, explained by abstract reasoning, because individual causes relate to rational preferences of individuals and objective interests. Therefore, similar experiences in the world can be based on the solution of individual causes. Individual transformation can be partially realized by placing organizational collective rationality instead of individual rationality, utilitarianism depending on the new conditions created in the macro environment. However, since eliminating irrational structures and emotional conflict within the enterprise is an important task at the organizational level, it is important to add the family dimension, which is also an intermediate environment, to the classically defined internal and external environments of enterprises, and it is necessary to go to socio-psychological analysis. Nepotism is one of the biggest obstacles to the continuity and institutionalization of family companies. In order to minimize nepotism, it is necessary to first identify indicators, then take precautions to protect the family company and create systems. Briefly, I can identify the indicators of nepotism as follows: high turnover, reducing employee satisfaction and motivation, not making efforts of employees for promotion, increased conflicts between family members and non-family members, professionals, focusing on an easily accessible short and medium-term goals, reduction in the number of innovative thoughts, biased and unrealistic performance valuation, decreasing of corporate performance average, decreasing the accuracy of decisions, decrease in profitability or loss of profits, difficulties in achieving a sustainable competitive advantage. There are possible studies to minimize nepotism in family companies. Here is how I can list these studies. Family members must be made aware. For this purpose, information must be shared about the importance of establishing the balance of family and company, the consequences of a reverse situation and nepotism. It must be explained that property and management practices and transfer are different, that the main purpose of the owners is to make the family company sustainable, and that the above average profitability is continuous. For this purpose, the focus must be on increasing the profitability of the institution, but it must be emphasized that family wishes and needs can be met. Ego management studies must be done. Family psychologists should be involved along with the family company consultant. The family constitution must be prepared. The family constitution should include the working relations and the rules on human resources practices and should be included in this section. Agreed general principles should be formed regarding recruitment, placement, layoff, promotion and appointment, remuneration, authorization, training, performance, and appraisal. Family members working in the family company must also be included in human resources practices under the same conditions as professionals. The family council must be formed and integrated work must be ensured with the board of directors in the case of the existence of practices related to nepotism. More than one independent member must be appointed to the board of directors. In order to raise the level of institutionalization and sustainability of the family company, it must work with a family company consultant. In line with the size of the family and family company, a family council or succession team must be formed, and a succession management system must be formed. Now, first of all, I'm going to ask Anita to introduce herself. Then I'm going to ask her to answer some questions. These questions are: what do you mean when you talk about nepotism in the family companies? Is this a good thing? When is nepotism a good thing? When is nepotism seen as negative? How can this be managed? Do you have any case studies where nepotism has worked?
Hi, I'm Anita Brightley Hodges, founder and chairman of Family Business Place. I'm a specialist family business advisor to families around the globe. I'm delighted to be here with you and EBRU on your show to share my experience and expertise. In this episode, we will be discussing the tricky concept of nepotism. Well, nepotism is when a family member is hired in the business because of who they are. They do not need to be skilled, experienced, or even good at what they do. It's seen as an entitlement. I think this is a complex question and very much depends on the family, the business, and its employees. It can also align with the values of the business, and in this case, it would be that family comes first rather than business first. Of course, this is a personal and individual thought process. Indeed, some entrepreneurs categorically refuse to entertain the idea of family being good enough ever. There are a number of reasons why this can be a positive strategy in the family enterprise. Firstly, it can be far cheaper to hire relatives as they see their roles as a responsibility to contribute to the success of the family firm. They will often be loyal to the nth degree. Folks see it as their duty, and they also are very proud to be associated and part of the family-run generation. They are regarded in the local community and valued for their commitment to charitable giving and philanthropy. That's a whole lot of responsibility to bear on a single person's shoulders. Secondly, there is more flexibility in the work environment and family life, and there is a role to play in the work-life mix. Family members can help each other out whilst remaining dedicated to the work in hand. For example, childcare ceases to be an issue as the family will rally around. Mentoring on the job by the family and the workmates is often a given. Looking after senior and elderly family is woven into the fabric of the job. Thirdly, loyalty and trust are a given and are priceless in a competitive dog-eat-dog world. Above all else, family expect and will receive both. So in my experience, and with speaking with other family firms, there is always room for supporting and encouraging family members who have mental and physical challenges. It can be a place of healing and also for taking risks in innovation. You are encouraged to think big, and it is expected that ideas are supported and encouraged because you are trusted. It's a wonderful thing when new ideas come from family members that can catapult the business into new sectors and markets. The business will be seen to grow and develop through the next generation. It works well when the general workforce buy into the family factor with all of its values, legacy and reputation. It is an expectation that the business will embrace the next generation, and it generally does. Family businesses who are seen to scale the heights of promotion and leadership roles without the proper experience, expertise and respect afforded to them by the workforce will be seen as divisive. It will often kill any incentive for non-family management to remain loyal, potentially fulfilled, and see things other than the job or role that's given on a plate. If family are appointed to roles of responsibility without the relevant experience, skills, people and leadership development, then the business will likely fail. It's important that no matter if you are family or not, everyone should be in the business because they are the best person for the job. A good way to take out the emotion is to create policies around recruitment of family members so that everyone is in the picture. It is also then public knowledge as far as the business is concerned. There will be no grey areas. This in turn can be included into the family constitution with the acknowledgement and agreement from all family members. This policy is then referred to for future appointments. Yes, I consulted to a family where there was an expectation that the son would come into the business. However, at the time, the son was living across the other side of the world and not working in the company. Whilst he had the ability to come into the business as the next successor, I felt he wasn't capable at this time with a downturn in the market and also having to live up to the expectations of the business and of his own family unit. But the tables did turn when he decided to make a success and undertake leadership training and accepted being mentored. He also worked side by side with other senior management to understand the business through and through. Gradually, he took full responsibility and eventually turned the business around. It took time, commitment, and a certain humility, and of course hard work, which could and did impact the family. All expectations have to be managed, and above all, it takes integrity, strength of character, and mental agility to turn an entitled opportunity into a good business decision. Around the world, nepotism can be seen in very different ways. In some countries and some cultures, it is a given that the next generation will be the next leader. And that's not because there's any sense of being prepared. It's just, I have built the business and you will come into it. And very often this can lead to very, very big responsibilities on that next generation's shoulders. But we really have to take them where they are. And if that's the case, I think that by talking about this more with different next generation in different countries around the world, there can be a better understanding throughout. And this can only be a good thing.
I would like to thank Anita Brightley for answering our questions and sharing her valuable knowledge with us. Today, we will talk about nepotism in our TV show. See you on our next TV show. Goodbye.